everyone. This is the Easy Allies podcast. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us this week, Michael Damiani.
Hello.
Bradley Ellis. Brandon Jones.
Yeah.
And making this all happen, Ian Hink.
Hey, you got way slouchier.
I'm a sloucher.
You're a sloucher.
I was thinking the other day that I would love to just be Larry King, like skip 30 years and just get straight to it, dude.
You just want to skip 30 years of your life?
It's just like
Because that's
just
what you're
click,
looking forward
dude.
to right
just
now,
pressing
yeah.
the click thing.
And
Yeah,
you want to be Larry King, the physical aspect?
yeah, it's just
Yeah,
yeah,
I
think
like-
you could rock suspenders. I can see it.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
the
the
hell?
slouch just
Wow, that is
hanging out on
the
my
craziest
desk.
thing I've ever heard.
And like I feel like he's a presence missing from television right now.
Larry King?
Yes.
Isn't he still on like TV?
I think he's still got things like Dan Rather does, you know, is like
Dude,
still
give him a
doing
break,
things.
man. He's old, dude.
I know he is. He just hasn't been replaced,
Oh, I know.
you know?
He loves it.
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy that's going to do his job till he dies because he likes it.
Yes. But you know, we need more Larry Kings.
Okay.
It is time to initiate the Desire Index. Jones, you'll be happy to see where it's at, maybe.
I like it. Well, I cut the podcast last
Oh,
week.
yes,
I'm
you know.
caught up. I'm caught up.
We do have a new rule. So someone in the comments
no.
suggested that it's not cool to have games move, and I kind of agree with that. And so here's the rule. Here's the new rule. A game cannot move up or down the Desire Index. It's already in there unless there was a substantial new trailer or a new headline that week. So it's like we can't just move things willy-nilly, just like, you know what, Cyberpunk number 2 this week. You know what I mean? Like we have to have a reason.
Substantial, obviously. is
What
gonna-
about a
Yeah.
substantial new argument?
Yeah.
No, a new
A
thing.
substantial new tweet that I made.
Yeah.
No,
Like
yeah,
some
it's-
fact was omitted in the last...
Don't worry,
Yeah.
Damiani. The rules will change
Wait,
next
are you,
week.
Damiani? Here's where it stands right now, Damiani. Cyberpunk 2070. Oh, Mario Maker 2 graduated. It was released and graduated. No longer number 1.
Yay.
Cyberpunk 2077, number 1. Number 2, The Last of Us Part 2. Number 3, Doom Eternal. And number 4, Madden NFL 20.
All right, so...
What?
Kyle put Madden on as a joke.
What? Oh.
Madden's a wonderful franchise, but
Hey, it's not a joke, dude.
Kyle wasn't. You were taking it
And
seriously.
there's only 4 games on the Desire Index right now, right?
Yes.
So you're only adding 1 game a week.
Yeah, we're adding.
So no matter what, they have to be
Yes.
5 is the highest this new game could be?
Yeah. No,
This sucks.
1 is the highest.
No, the
it could
newest
be.
game could be wherever because it's brand new.
And other things would automatically
but
shift.
we can't move like Last of Us 2 above
okay.
Cyberpunk.
All right, that's fine.
Unless a new trailer or something else came out, apparently. That's the rule.
I think I gotta go with this one. This one's pretty sizzling.
Okay.
I like a sizzler, and I think, yeah, actually, you know what? We're going with a sizzler. I'm sorry. What is it? Even more
Sizzlers?
sizzling?
Do you know
Okay.
the Sizzler? It's not that high quality.
All you can eat, baby.
We used to, when my friend and I were just like new out here in LA.
Yeah.
You ever got a promotion? You went to Sizzler. It's like,
Excuse me?
I don't like this
if you got a
bit.
new job, you got a gig. It's like, we're going to Sizzler, baby.
Kyle, did you...
Who are you, like Shooter McGavin?
Do you live in Always Sunny in Philadelphia? Like, that's something they would do.
I know.
He's just making the bit.
That's not a bit. That was a real thing.
Okay.
Um,
Your life is a bit.
We didn't get a lot of new gigs. I think we probably had 2 Sizzlers in our entire run here in LA, but hey, not
Hey,
bad.
that's not bad, dude.
Yeah.
Okay. This is suggested by our patron, Stephen Anthony Brown. The game, Marvel's Avengers. Why? It's got the highest reassessment potential. Depending on what is revealed from here out, it could rise to the top, muddle in the middle, or do the unimaginable and unseat Madden NFL 20. Where do we put Marvel's Avengers today? Where it stands?
Just above Madden. But
Yeah,
that's it.
above Madden and below everything else.
Yeah, I agree.
Just above Madden.
Sorry.
I agree.
That's so
Jones,
unfair
I thought
to
at
those
least
others.
you would fight for this game.
It had a bad showing. It just did. It just,
Yeah, we need some
I think
more.
I still think it's like worth defining the bad showing because I think
Yeah.
this was an automatic home run.
My anticipation of Avengers is like belief. You know,
Yeah.
like I think it's going to come together. Obviously, there's a whole treasure chest of characters they haven't revealed yet. I feel like this is a game that they're going to support for a long time. Square Enix, other than this, is doing pretty good. You know, they had a pretty good E3. So it just seems weird that I just think they just handled not only at E3 but just leading up to E3 to wait to E3 to then just drop to literally be like, and here's Captain America. It's like you had to know people are gonna be like, what? They're just gonna it's gonna be strange.
I don't think they knew.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You
Yeah.
should have known.
Got it, yeah.
That it was going to be bizarre. That I think they thought Avengers Day was going to rock us, and it didn't. We
Yeah.
didn't really care.
Yeah.
That people were going to be like, we were all going to be like, whoa, is Cap really dead?
Yeah,
no.
you're right. And what a foolish thing to play that.
Yeah. So for me, there's what happened at E3 and what I think that game's going to be, and those are two separate things. So I'm excited for that game,
Yeah.
but if I don't think it deserves a desiring at this point.
So
it's also a long time to wait.
They said they're going to clean it up. Obviously, it's not in its final version right now. Does this panel believe that when this game releases, the characters will still look not right? They'll still look something off about them.
Probably yes. They said they weren't going to adjust the designs.
Right. They said we won't change the designs. We'll change like how
yeah.
things look graphically, but we won't change the designs.
Yeah, they'll
of the
still clean
characters.
them. Like they'll make them like they'll touch them up, but like I still think their base look is still going to put people off.
Do you think so?
I don't think there's any working around that.
It's not like an immediate shock when we see it and then something we get used to. Do you think it's going to be still something that's like,
As long as the MCU is going on and those characters are in like the popular culture's eye, it's just going to be a thing.
Sure.
Like this, someone there should have known that. Like you either need to go for like, are they literally the identical look of their comic book versions? I don't think they are.
No, they're not.
No, that's the thing. They're
They
their own
either need
versions.
to go like as close to their iconic comic book look, or they should just paid whatever it needed to get them MC likenesses, and they didn't do either. And it's like, that doesn't work for people nowadays. Sorry.
I kind of agree with that. It's to me, it was like I was never expecting them to look like MCU people. Though it is, if you get close to it, that's where you're effing up. Basically, like Tony Stark, no, I'm sorry, he can't have a goatee. You just have to find a different way to do it if you're not going to have RDJ. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like Tony Stark always has a goatee.
Right.
Comic books, he's got it, but you just have to go in some other direction, so it's not that like eerily close feeling.
Sure.
And I feel like they've got a little too close.
Or like what I've been saying, give us a slow transition into what they look like.
Yeah.
Show us what they look like. Don't show us gameplay. Don't have them speak or anything. Don't announce the voice actors. But like before E3, kind of roll into it, and it was just this big splash all of a sudden, and it was just shocking. It was
Should have been
weird.
huge. It should have been enormous.
Yeah.
So they announced they're going to be at Comic-Con. Do we think we'll see like substantial gameplay, a substantial gameplay moment at Comic-Con?
Yes.
And will it bump up higher on the desire index? Will we desire the game more after Comic-Con?
1, 2, and 3 on the desire index are really hot games. It's like it's just not.
A game in which I can be an Avenger should be higher than Doom. You know what I mean? Like it should be.
Why?
For video games?
Yeah, man.
Kyle,
I could be any Marvel
you could
superhero I
be
want, you know?
good old sassy Tony Stark, or you could be a psychopath blowing demons to hell.
Yeah, it's.
Doom is more revered, I think, in the gaming space.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately.
It is. You're right. Yeah.
For you, Kyle. I mean, yeah.
Sorry. I was like, unfortunately, get out.
Unfortunately for Kyle.
All right.
Yeah.
I love an easy slot in as much as a hard one. You all knew. It's just right above Madden.
Yeah.
Wasn't a
Spider-Man
sizzler.
kind of spoiled us in terms of the quality we expect now from licensed
Batman.
stuff.
Yeah.
And Arkham, it's they're usually not great.
Feels weird though, because I know I have to believe like I'm working on that game. I'm on that team.
Yeah.
I'm rubbing my hands together, knowing everyone's minds are gonna be blown once they see my game.
That was.
I would be so shocked by the response.
They relied on that too much. They were just like, oh, we're gonna dunk this.
Yeah.
Well, how can we not dunk this? It's
Yes.
like that. There you go.
I feel like this might just be me and weird about it. I just feel like they should have started smaller with this whole initiative, like individual superheroes at a time, then eventually build to the Avengers like the movies.
Oh, I got
so
you.
everything meant more. I don't know. Like it's just probably really nitpicky of me, but I think I'd just be like more excited about that.
Also, it just like seems outdated. Like that's one of those game announcements where it's like, oh, it's a game from 3 years ago. To me, I don't know.
Oh yeah, I mean they didn't announce it a long time ago with like the business partnership, but you're right. Probably shouldn't have had a trailer.
The gap in between Infinity War and Endgame, them completely avoiding that was a huge mistake. They should have slipped right in there and been like, hey, you're all hungry for stuff? Here's a little bit. And so we can, okay, well, that looks weird. And then we see Endgame and we forget about it.
Yeah.
And then it comes back at E3 and we're like, oh, yeah, that's right, Cap looks weird. But man, this gameplay's interesting. So like all of the they look weird stuff we had that conversation,
I got a lot of more juicy suggestions. If we have time at the end of the podcast, we should dip in. But it's time for corrections. Begin corrections music, please. Fire Emblem Awakening does have a time skip, but it's only like 2 years. The children come from the future into the past to help you fight wars.
Excuse me?
The children... The children, so it's like you're having a conversation with another character.
It's like Dragon Ball Z, dude.
Like
Trunks style.
Like you're feeling some connection there, and then suddenly a child arrives from the future. It's like, hey, mom and dad.
You got to be careful.
But it's like we didn't do a thing. What is this?
Hey, that's what happened to me.
It's so funny because their set characters are coming back, but it's like you get to determine who are the parents of that child. They come back no matter what, but who's the parent? Who's the dad?
I kind of like that part of Fire Emblem Awakening. It's just like the matchmaking. That's like that was
Sure, I thought that was a big part of it.
Yeah, it's just like you two must love each other now. It's terrible. And correction music, please.
All right.
More debate still about like the Nook children, but I don't want to get into it.
Oh, I want to get into it. What do you got?
Like Timmy and Tommy, we don't know what they are. We don't know if they were strangers and then Tom Nook adopted them, or if they're just like students. We don't know if they're his children.
I don't remember their personalities. How are they?
They're just little children who are into it. They're also into the Nook business.
They're Nooks.
They're learning.
There's something about that Nintendo lore, like Peach and Bowser. It's so good.
Yes.
It's so good. Because
They're
you
not
know
willing
it's
to make a
never going to
commitment.
be resolved
Write
ever.
this down, Kyle. So we get the chance to interview them one day. We will absolutely ask this. First question.
Okay,
Kyle, I get the vibe that they're like Huey, Dewey, and Louie from like DuckTales, nephews of someone, like Donald's nephews.
I saw nephews suggested, but not confirmed.
Yeah.
Oh, it's confirmed now.
Okay,
Suggested,
right.
confirmed.
Nephews is fun. It's safe.
Uncle Scrooge.
Sure.
You see they showed the mom in the new DuckTales show?
No, I've only seen one episode.
Yeah, man. It was like getting headlines.
Ooh.
It's like that you see the mom of those children.
That's weird.
That's nice.
Because this is a video game podcast,
Yes.
you may also like to know that the mom sang to the tune of the NES DuckTales Moon theme.
Yeah.
They came up with lyrics for that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Little nod.
It's a huge nod.
That's a nod.
Because it was like a whole musical moment, dude.
That's
It's
cool.
like pretty sick. So, Jones,
show.
you saw it.
Oh, it's a lullaby,
I have not watched an episode. I really need to get caught up on that, but I saw that on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently a good show.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some news. Yucky news this week. We got yucky,
no.
like just a little swamp of
Sludge
news.
news.
Yeah, just like we got a water slide, and we're like really pumped, and then it just like goes straight into a swamp. Okay, so Shenmue 3, we learned during E3 that it was switching to Epic Game Store, and that people who had backed it as a Kickstarter, very famous, maybe one of the most popular, well-funded Kickstarters of all time. Anybody who had backed it is no longer getting a Steam code, but an Epic Game Store code instead. And at the time, it was like I was on E3 hype, you know what I mean? E3 fumes were still in my lungs, and like I was just like, yeah, okay, moving on. You know what I mean? This week, it's kind of a bigger story, so I think there's more to talk about here. This week, the developers announced that... by the way, how do you pronounce it? I think it's like YS, right?
Is it like Yeez, like
Yeez.
the Sega?
Yeah.
Yeez.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. They announced that, hey, by the way, this game's coming out
Falcon,
August
sorry.
27th. It's coming out very soon. This was like a very last-minute swapperoo. You can't have refunds. So they give you 4 options. Okay? Here are your 4 options. PC, physical,
Didn't it get delayed?
out of August?
Yeah, I thought it was delayed till like November or something, right?
Oh, dude, maybe.
Because that was the original release date, right?
Got it.
And it
All
got
right.
delayed?
Ian, if you would look up the most current release date, I'd appreciate that.
Of what?
Shenmue.
Shenmue 3. So here are the 4 options, right? You got
Okay.
the PC physical, PC digital. By the way, we'll talk about PC physical. It's not even. Okay. PS4 physical, PS4 digital.
Okay.
There's a secret 5th option.
Well.
You can ask for
Okay. I thought
a
it got delayed.
Steam key. Yeah, the immediate Google search says August 27th, which is what I was going by, but like maybe that's not updated or something. The secret 5th option is to ask for a Steam key. You'll get it a year later. That is when you'll get it a year later because that's when the Epic Game Store exclusivity ends. There's a secret 6th option, and that is to request your refund.
Oh.
And by the way, like refund is like limited in some sense. Like if they already gave you some of your rewards, you can't get a full refund. So it's not clear exactly. Okay, thank you, Brad. He's got it. He's on it. Shenmue 3 was delayed till November what?
Well, keep
November
talking.
19th?
November 19th.
November 19th. Cool. Brad?
Ease is apparently ease.
Ease.
Yeah.
Ease. Okay. So that's what somebody who previously ordered the PC version has on their plate. By the way, if I was looking forward to my physical PC copy,
Please tell me it's just a digital code.
it is almost worse than that, Brad. I am getting a game case that says PC on it. I open that case. There is a disc in there.
Oh.
I put that in. That's just the Epic Game Store launcher.
No
There's
way.
also a code from which I'll have to use to download. So the game's not on that disc.
Oh, man.
And
Didn't
so,
Metal Gear 5 do that?
I mean, I don't know. I
Go with
don't.
Steam.
That is so nuts to me.
I feel like I've seen PC games with boxes that are just codes in it.
Yes, I do think it happens.
That's the thing.
It even happens with PS4 and Xbox One games.
The disc is the launcher.
That's too nuts.
That is crazy.
Yeah, so it's like, well, we put a disc in there. It's like, I can download Epic Game Store Launcher right now, man.
Sucks.
Yeah, so that's what's being offered. Refunds, obviously, though nobody has the refund yet because the details on those refunds aren't too clear.
Yeah.
Just a weird thing to talk about. I guess where I want to launch from, panel, is...
Pun intended?
Yeah,
Huh?
this is the launcher, the Epic launcher.
Oh, pun not intended. Hate
Aw.
puns. Hate puns. So I have a feeling this is like a Kickstarter that just got like too successful almost. Like I try to understand what's going on at ease, right? It's like they just got a better offer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they promised one thing, but they got a lot of money for doing another thing.
Yes.
And they're saying, we're willing to take the hit of
Yes.
pissing off our fan base for the amount of money we're going to get.
Yes.
That's what happened.
Yep. And I don't know if it was their call or Deep Silver's call, but
Oh,
Deep
that I
Silver
don't
hasn't
know.
been talking too much. Deep Silver is publishing the game. And so this kind of thing happens when you're like, hey, we're just a Kickstarter. We just need a little bit of money to make our game. And then like when a publisher gets involved, it's like, okay,
Whole
well,
different ballgame,
you
yeah.
got to sell this many copies, baby. We need bucks back, baby. And like you want that because the publisher is going to make you more money in the end, but now you're working for somebody. And then when Epic Game Store gets involved and say, hey, we're going to offer you a better cut, baby. You're going to get better than 30%, baby. And they're like, oh, okay, well, we are still a little game company. We still do need money. And so all these things happen. Panel, what do you do? What do you do in their shoes? What do you do when your game, your Kickstarter blows up too much?
Are we talking about Shenmue right now?
Yeah, I'm talking about, if you're a Shenmue. If you're them, like it's too late. They've made their call. What do you do in the going
it
forward?
sounds like they made a lot of these plans way after the Kickstarter was done. Like
Yes.
they had their money, they were locked in at that point, but then they made additional changes, and they knew that would, like, quite frankly, they knew this was going to upset people probably, but they're just like, it's worth it for us, kind of thing. Like, I don't know what the statistics is of people, like how much it'll actually affect them. I know people will be pissed off, but to them, I don't know if it really matters as much.
I think they're about to get a lot of refunds.
We'll see.
Oh, by the way, one thing to add to this before we delve in even deeper is that Epic has promised that they're actually paying for the refunds.
Oh, really?
Isn't that insane?
That is crazy.
Yeah, so anyone who refunds the game through that Kickstarter,
So Epic's like got their back hard on this, I suppose.
they got their back hard. Yeah, they're losing money on this whole ordeal
Jeez.
just to slowly become the good guy. What?
Well, I think like I talked to someone else who's a indie developer where something like this kind of happened, and like
Oh, cool.
Epic came in and offered them money, and like the situation they were in was like we were running out of money. The game was gonna suck unless we took this deal, and so we took this deal. Like I think people are quick to say like, oh, they're greedy, they want more money. It's like, well, or the game just is like in a bad spot and needs money.
And Shenmue, to me, feels like a game where if you get more capital, you can invest that directly into more features, more characters, more something. You know, like, I bet there's a whole list of we just had to cut development right there, and then, okay, we can move that goalpost a little bit and maybe include a couple more things.
Why aren't they being transparent about that? Why?
That's the other thing is
you said like Deep Silver's being really quiet about this, and it sounds like Ease hasn't said anything about why they're doing this. Like,
Why they're doing the refunds?
Well, no. Why they're getting the Epic? While they're doing exclusive and getting more money, like a better cut, like more money. Like Ian's argument.
Yeah.
If that was the case, why wouldn't they come out and just say that? This is why we are doing the following.
Yeah.
You were all really great to us. All of you supporters and backers were great for us for Kickstarter. We've run into we've been very transparent with you about delays and trying to make this game good. But like these delays and pushbacks, like if this is the case, it has caused us too much money. We are running out of funds. In comes, Epic. They propose this stuff. We now have a new injection of money. We can finish the game to the quality that you want. It would not have been possible. Like, some things might have had to been cut or quality might have been compromised and certain things. Like, why are they coming out and saying this? Them not saying this and being transparent, because this is like a feel-good story, and like anything that like, oh, we're doing everything possible to make this good. This like kind of secrecy, them not talking about it, makes me think we did, like you said, Kyle, we just want more money, and like we're capitalizing on this big thing that like fans paid for it and stuff, and now we're gonna like get a little bit extra money as well. And you know what? They've already bought in, so whatever. And if Epic's gonna get our back for funding them, we're not losing any money. We're like, they're just like we're laughing our way to the bank at this point. It's like that's like evil.
But so like think of Ian's friend, right? Mm-hmm. I'm assuming that person doesn't want to be public because it's not a good look. It's not a good thing to say like, hey, we're running out of money. Epic came and saved us. There's like some things you can't say, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, they're massaging this message as best they can.
Right.
They're not like, hey, we just did it for fun. We just switched to Epic for fun for kicks. Obviously, we know that they needed more money. So like Damiani, I think maybe because you're a Kickstarter, you should be more transparent. There's a higher expectancy of that. I totally get that.
Or just don't complain. You know, if your sales take a hit, if a bunch of people turn in refunds, you know, like never, ever, ever say, hey, we wish you hadn't have done that.
I don't think
we
they
think
will.
you should commit to it's like,
Yeah. They
never
probably
cross
won't.
that line because you made this happen. Like, you were the one that changed course and frustrated your fan base.
I mean, what sucks is at the cost of those people who pledged a certain amount of dollars for a PC version forever ago, I believe at the end of the day, they're still going to make more money than they would have if they stuck with Steam.
Probably.
Sure.
And like that's which is what sucks is like at the cost of those people who were supporting them years ago, they're going to make more money with Epic.
I mean, to me, Kickstarter, you always got to be careful about that kind of stuff.
Fair enough.
To
right.
me, like,
that's what you agree upon when you're sending money over.
But it does suck. It's a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
I have a legit question.
Sure.
At the risk of maybe upsetting people, but I don't care. Why do people give such a fuck about if something's on Steam or Epic? Like, to me, it's like you literally click a different button. If it's not a multiplayer game, what's the difference?
We went over this once before.
Damiani's got it. He's locked and loaded.
Because like it's such a non-issue to me.
It's a lot of reasons.
It's not about platform loyalty. The whole point, the history of PC gaming has been about having all the options. It's about being open. It's supposed to be that you aren't locked out in a closed ecosystem like what consoles do to you. So PC, like it shouldn't matter what platform you can pay it on, but getting third-party games to be exclusive to PC like storefronts kind of goes in the face of like kind of like the quote-unquote the gentleman's agreement of the PC gaming in like kind of like sale or like the storefronts that have been there that you get a game on PC, you can like play it however you want. Like it started with DRM when it came in first. People were like, okay, like this is crap. Like why jailbreak this stuff, like bypass it. That's why so many people don't give a shit when you defeat those like, you know, de novo and stuff like, haha, that's like good, you know, like de novo's bad. Like that's like the whole mantra of that. So this new thing, this like storefront exclusivity, it flies in the face of that as well. And there are just a lot of like purists who will basically say, this is not what the PC ecosystem was about. You are like tainting it, you're exploiting it, and this is not how it was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. And I think there's two different stories of like something like Borderlands, or again, I'm not drilling on the specifics here of like a game is announced and then we don't really know what platforms are coming to. We just got one or two trailers and then they announce it's coming to Epic Game Store. And for people that are not super hot on Epic Game Store, that sucks. It's another thing when like money has already changed hands. Like you showed me a thing, I paid for that thing, and then later you're just like, oh, by the way, sneaky, we're changing that. And it's like, well, wait, I already gave you money. Then I could see that being frustrating.
I do think it's that. So yeah, if the Kickstarter somehow, if it was for an Epic Game Store game, I bet there would be people who would give them money and would not be upset today, right? If they had the foresight to say, hey, we don't even know what store it's going to launch on. You know what I mean? But you know, people paid for a Steam version. I think it's the switcheroo, Ian, that gets people upset. But
I see that. I can understand that.
Yeah,
I mean, like, but Epic Game Store didn't exist when Shenmue was kickstarting.
Right, and Steam seemed obvious.
Right. I mean, I guess it's on Kickstarter people to just never say a platform anymore.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, I don't know, it's capitalism.
Steam's only exclusives are
Valve's first-party games.
But even like Greenlight games and stuff like that, I guess they can be on whatever.
They can be. I think their exclusives are mostly just, hey, this is the only platform we can launch on right now.
Or Itch.io and stuff.
I mean, it makes sense for Valve games and stuff. I got you.
Yeah, and I think also it's like still the Epic Game Store is lagging behind Steam in a lot of ways. Yes. It's not equivalent. Does
it have cloud saves?
I think it still does not have cloud saves.
Because that's annoying.
Yeah, it's still missing a bunch of features. And we know that Epic is making people cram on those features. We know that those people are being overworked to put those features together. And so it's weird. It is It's a little sludge.
I think the other thing that contributes to it is like there's no doubt in my mind that the Epic Games Store is like an affront to Valve. It's not one thing where it's like we want to give people options and create our own store. They're very much like screw you, Valve. That seems like kind of the whole attitude around everything.
Yes.
Like every exclusive is not like just very much seems like ha 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 ha. You know, like we have this franchise now. We made this deal now, and so. Again, if Epic Games Store was like, hey, what's the beef? It's like, well, you get this whole attitude that you've had presenting, which in some ways is good for the consumer. Again, the developers are making more money. Like, there's some things that are positive when framed, in different ways from different perspectives.
That's kind of my thing. Is like, I mean, this is capitalism, like late stage capitalism. Like these companies, none of these companies are out here trying to do anybody any favors, right?
Yeah.
And like that should not be expected. And it's like competition is better. Like the market is going to get stronger because Steam's not the only dog in the race anymore,
Yeah,
that's
I don't
true.
understand why Steam has like goodwill at all.
I mean, that's the other thing. I mean, I don't think people, when Steam first came around, it wasn't like people were, oh yay, Steam and stuff. Obviously, they were probably Valve fans.
Didn't
who
launch with Half-Life and it was sort of borked?
I think you had to play it on Steam too.
Sure.
I think so.
Yeah.
It had some rough years.
Yeah, but like.
Here we are, like 15, 20 years later.
That's the whole thing. Like you just like PC gaming. You just want I just want to buy the game, have a standalone executable. Just click the icon and play it. I don't need. Why do I need to launch a storefront and stuff? This all came about like. This has been years in the making.
When Steam was new,
like
people had
but
those
to like to
complaints.
Ian's argument, like there shouldn't even be technically there shouldn't like in the ideal one there would be no storefronts. You just go buy your game from the store.
Amen to that.
Yeah, but like
and then as an icon on my desktop, I actually prefer to have Steam.
But that's why it happened. Like Rise of Digital. Like, well, where do you buy it digitally then? Like, do you go to a store and buy a code now? Where do you download that from? Do like those individual companies have to set their own storefronts? Like, it was just a natural evolution of where we went with like technology. So they were naturally always going to come about.
You can launch other games that you didn't buy in Steam through Steam.
Yeah,
Yes.
It's just like I'm surprised. Maybe there is one like open source, like kind of like not storefronts, but like organizers. Like there are definitely those. There have to be those. That
Oh,
existed
sure.
beforehand.
Instead of like me just
because
going
like you
through my
like I don't
files,
want icons. Like here's like a little like nice app or program that runs. Here are all your PC games and stuff. Like
Remember those for MP3 players?
Yeah.
Like the weird skins that you could have for an
Yeah.
MP3
Winamp
player.
and stuff?
Yeah,
Winamp.
Man, those were so cool.
Yeah, those were crazy.
This has been so long, I forget if what those were, if they even are still around. But yeah,
They're around, baby.
Now we have storefronts, and yes, like having competition is good. I think it is partially the tenacity in which Epic is going after third-party exclusives.
Unapologetic tenacity, dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, and they've been like upfront about it. They're like not hiding it. At least like
Right.
this is what we're doing. They said recently this is the only way we can take on
Exclusives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Steam
Yeah,
is to
content.
go after this.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're doing it out of like the goodness of their heart. They're not trying to.
Oh, no, it's business.
Yeah, it's purely business stuff, especially
And the
with their
Shenmue thing
background.
couldn't be messier. I mean, it's so clearly not. Shenmue didn't mean to do this. Epic doesn't necessarily have all the solutions for how it's going to work.
I don't think Epic's at fault in this specific instance here.
They offered the money, man.
All the evidence you've given me,
Yeah.
I feel like the party that needs to do something to make this right the most is Deep Silver. They've been quiet. I think they were like everything you've told me. They were probably the ones who negotiated the deal and stuff.
I wonder.
I would if I had to stake it, I would stake it on them. And all the evidence points to it's them. They're the ones who did it. And the fact they're not saying anything makes, as what Brad said, they did the cost analysis benefit. And they're like, okay, we went this way and say we're saying we're going to make this much, but even with the amount of complaints and refunds we're going to get, the better percentage we're getting from Epic, we're going to make more money here.
Yeah.
Let's go with this option right here, and let's just shut up.
Like, it reminds me of Modern Warfare 2 when they said it's like not gonna have dedicated servers, and I knew a ton of people were like blacklisting it or whatever. Like, I'm not gonna buy it. And there's like that really famous screenshot of like the anti-Modern Warfare 2 Steam group, and like over half the people are playing it.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah.
how many people are gonna put their money where their mouth is?
It's a JPEG, man.
Well, and it's just funny. Like, it's funny to me because, I mean, it seems like a funny thing to be like mad about, just in general for me. But like, in a situation like Shenmue or other indie titles, where it's not like, hey, if you want to be mad at like Assassin's Creed or whatever, sure, because it's like, who cares? But like, Yu Suzuki and those guys are the ones that are gonna get punished because you're pissed that it's on Epic. And it's like, I feel bad for the developer that like their publisher's making these gnarly decisions that it's like pissing people off, and it's like everyone's gonna boycott the game and get refunds and stuff, and it's like, well, okay, but you love Shenmue, like the developer is going to get punished for that too, and it may not have even been their choice.
Yeah, as Jones, like, like his dream is coming true.
Right.
He got the funding to
Right.
make this game that he could not get
Yeah.
funding for 15 years, and it's like,
You know what? Now we know who the real bad guy is in this whole story.
Who?
Sega.
It's Sega.
Sega not believing in this, not making this happen.
Right. 20 years, right?
Yeah, like come on.
Hey,
Almost.
Sega's doing a turnaround, baby. Phantasy Star.
They are now.
Let's get hyped.
They had their chance.
I mean,
Right?
exclusively to the Epic Games.
Oh.
Exclusive. The next story, like when I was putting the podcast together, I was looking at this Mordhau stuff, and it's just like riled me up too much.
Is this the?
We're not even Damiani. We're not covering it. Hey, Google
Okay,
it if you just want to feel mad. Just Google Mordhau. Look at the PC Gamer article. Instead of like getting into more negativity on the podcast, we have Jones here.
Yay.
I figured why not do a segment called "Let's Just Talk to Jones."
Open my
Let's
with
just
Mordhau.
call the-
Yeah, because that's the truth, Jones. I was sitting at the desk typing on the
What do
laptop.
you want, Mordhau or Jones?
And I like closed my eyes. I'm like, what can I do on the podcast? And I'm like, you know what? Jones is gonna be gone for a while. This is the last chance we got for you for a while, right?
Maybe I'm going to try to do the next podcast and maybe the one after that.
Oh, okay, cool.
But then I'll be gone for about a month or so.
Yeah, and so people, they hear your voice every week,
Yeah.
but they might not necessarily know what's going on in your life.
yeah.
So what's happening, Jones?
Playing lots of Mordhau, been getting deep in those forums,
Yeah.
Yeah, I on oh boy, it was Friday. On June 19th, Man and I took a leisurely trip to a hospital, and then on June 21st at 5:44 p.m., we gave birth to our son Milo Troop Jones.
Be honest with me. Was that a leisurely trip?
No, that was tense.
Yeah. I imagine it was not a good trip,
That was creepy.
Yeah.
Well, it was weird because we've been doing lots of reading, all sorts of crazy books, and some like funny books, some like books about reading a really interesting book now about just like the science of brain development, and it's fascinating. And didn't get to that part where they say that like actually at 32 weeks of being pregnant, your baby's probably gonna be okay. Like if it's born, like the odds are good. Like if this was the 1800s, not good. But now like medical science has caught up, and so, ever since this happened, I've been getting lots of reports from people who's like, hey, my kid was 8 weeks early, 9 weeks early, especially even in the NICU at the hospital. The neonatal, I said the neuronatal on Cubba Jones.
How
but
embarrassing.
I know, yeah. Still trying to recover from that. But just heard lots of stories where they were like, hey, I was super early and I'm, in my 30s now, and that turned out okay. So, and thank you to everybody also that's been giving me well wishes. But it was crazy. Like when one of the first things when I went in the next day to check in on him, when we like came back to we were upstairs in the hospital and then went down to the NICU. And I came in like, hey, how's he doing? And the guy just looked at the isolette and was like, well, it's fine. I'm like, oh, all right.
Does it?
Not expecting that.
So I mean, you had plenty of time to prepare to be a father, but you had this expectancy that was going to be August. You're like, okay, I'm going to be a
maybe
dad in
July.
August.
Maybe
Yeah.
I was 2 weeks early, so
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I could, he could sneak in the end of July. But like July 1st is when we're really going to start building furniture, clearing stuff out. Amanda had 2 baby showers. One from her friends were planning, one that my parents and her parents were planning.
Oh, in July?
He skipped both of those.
Yeah.
Out ahead.
Okay.
And so like we got like an email from somebody who was like, cool, looking forward to whenever you reschedule the shower. And it's like, no, we're not.
Yeah.
It's too late.
It's over.
Like,
Hit
he's
up,
out.
hit up that registry.
If you're going to send us anything, bring it.
Does it feel weird to be a sudden father though? Were you ready?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we were emotionally prepared. It was just, it really was up until the actual birth. Because once we were in the hospital, then it was a question of like, because it was this double-edged sword where like, I want him to come early so then Amanda's not stuck in the hospital for 4 weeks. I mean, imagine that. We're just literally sitting at the bed rest for 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Just like, pumped full of all sorts of weird stuff, getting your blood drawn all the time, and like, looking out the window. They finally moved us into a room that had a window. We're like, yeah, and they're doing construction outside right next to the freeway. Like, great. And but at the same time, that's kind of spooky that he would go out and have to be in the NICU, and we don't know what condition he's going to come out in. But at the same time, if he waits a long time, or if he comes out early, that's better for Amanda, but then not great for him. And so he made that decision for us. And hello,
Jones, I have to say, you sent a Slack message that like updated us on like what everything is. Like you were very open with us about what was happening. You said at one point there's a 90-ish% that things are going to be okay, so I'm feeling good. And it's like, Jones, like, you know how many times I missed a thunderbolt, dude? Like, how can you feel positive about a 90-ish%? That was the craziest thing to me, but you were so positive throughout this whole thing.
yeah.
Why?
I don't know. It's just I imagine that people talk about like their life flashing before your eyes. You know,
Yeah.
if you're like on the freeway and you look, there's a Mack truck just piling toward you. Like I imagine there's at some point where you're like, well, here we go. You kind of realize you just give up. You're like, nature's kind of taken over right now. There's not really anything I can do.
Yeah.
And so you just kind of run out of. Once your brain kind of cycles through all the possible options, you're like, well, we'll just see what happens. You know, you're like a spectator almost. Like. You know, I'm really not a part of this. It's really it's really Amanda and Milo that are making the big decisions here.
That state of mind,
and we
man,
will
that's
just
incredible.
see what happens. So it's really up until like the once like the green light hit and they were like, oh, this is happening now. He's going to be born today. It's funny. I'm in like the delivery room. We're standing there and I'm just suddenly realizing like, oh, I guess I'm wearing this. You know, like I guess this.
What are you wearing?
I guess this is the T-shirt I'm wearing.
Do you remember what T-shirt you're wearing?
It's this cool shirt that's it's like a space cowboy shirt. So it's like a star setting, and then there's like a cowboy like on Mars, just riding around, a little silhouette of him. And it's like looking at my clock, like June 21st. I guess that's the day. A day after one of my best friend's birthdays, and 3 days before another best friend's birthday. So
It's a good sounding birthday, to be honest with you.
Born on the solstice, first day of the summer.
Jones, you're a very public person. Do you think it's weird that when Milo is able to look at videos on the internet, he will have access to thousands of hours of his father talking?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Talking about him.
Yeah, even like right now, right?
Crisp video. I mean, who knows what how good video is going to be, when he's like my age.
Oh, this will look bad.
Even just yeah.
This will look horrible. You're right. Yeah.
I think of like Elijah Wood, like you have to use your hands.
Like I can't smell this. What is this?
But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I think about that all the time because I literally like from my birth, I have like one picture super far away in the hospital room, really crappy color of like both my parents was like exhausted.
Yeah.
And it's just like I go through my photo. Not only are we taking amazing pictures, but like our photo stream is shared between our two phones. So anything she takes, I see within like 10 minutes. It's just like technology, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And I wonder if like he'll even care. You know what I mean? Like, I think, like, all right, let's say my dad was on a podcast weekly, right? 20 years ago. Would I listen? I'd probably listen to the episode where he talks about me for sure, but I'm like, would I listen to him talk about how mad he is about Animal Crossing? Like, no.
Maybe not when they're younger, but
Yeah.
I feel like when they get older, perhaps.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Are you going to swear less?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a big swearer now. I can moderate that depending on the circumstances.
Not a big on-camera swear.
Not a big on-camera swear.
Yes.
Different story off camera.
Off camera, you're going to swear less.
We'll see. I don't know. Okay. I did one. I think I was almost about to do one, like in his presence. Like I was holding him and talking to Amanda.
You were like aware of
And
it?
I almost said something. It was like, because again, you're reading these psychology books, and they're like, you'd be surprised what that kid picks up on. Like, obviously doesn't know English, but like definitely picks up on attitudes and vibes. And if you're arguing in front of your baby, like it'll get stressed out, and then that'll affect the baby's development. So it's just like, okay, try not to be stressed.
Very conscious of it. I like that.
But I was practicing non-stress stuff, even before this happened. So it's good to like, all right, put my money where my mouth is.
I mean, how are you not stressed on these days before your baby can even come home? What is a day like for you?
So the big thing is we got to get up just to see him, and we were happy where all of this happened because it was near Amanda's doctor, but it is a bit of a drive, and we're in LA, so like you really kind of got to time out like what's in that direction on that freeway, what's the best time to be going and leaving. But it's just it's strange. It's like. I was a little disappointed right away because there wasn't this just like immediate like, oh, it's my child, because there's tubes and doctors and everybody, so you don't really get like that connection. Even when like I get time with them, it's like plugging in a new console where they're just like, okay, careful for these 18 wires, and here he is. And they're like, yeah, thanks, like. So yeah, it's you kind of bounce back and forth between being like extremely connected to him and then just like, all right, got to get back on the freeway. See you tomorrow, buddy. But you just roll with it. It's just it's kind of like, it seems like a really weird comparison, but like we just got done with E3. It's like or when we used to do Keeley's coverage back in the day, like All Access, you do as much rehearsal as you can, and then once that camera turns on, you go live. It's like this is now what it is, and we just kind of got to roll with it. So this job has trained me. For this. Certainly the lack of sleep part.
I'm pretty impressed, Johns.
Nice.
I know myself I would be a nervous wreck constantly.
And this is nice because we haven't really talked about this. I was actually I showed up and the guys were walking around before the podcast and I'm just like, oh, I haven't I got a ton of stories. Just a lot of crazy stuff.
You showed up live last week and then like had to go and I'm like, Johns, how you been?
Right.
Yeah.
So But and that I know some people tune in the podcast. They see that time code and they're like, all right, what's the next time code? Boom. All right, let's skip the baby talk.
Oh,
baby talk's good talk.
Yeah,
it's good vibes, man.
It's been wild, and certainly like I can't wait to find out because a lot of people say they're like, oh, is he gonna be a Star Wars fan? Oh, you gonna like video games? And I'm like, I can't wait to find out what he likes. It's even just watching my god kids grow up. Every time I see them, it's like, all right, what's the show? What are we watching?
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun to like And when do those trends change? It's like, oh, not into Power Rangers anymore. Okay.
Honestly,
that lasted 2 years. Interesting.
Like, Jones, the way that, like, everything is progressing digitally, I'm just scared that, like, 10-year-olds just love pornography. You know what I mean? Like, do you like Power Rangers? And they're like, no, dude. Like,
and here I was worried that I had said the most incendiary thing on this episode.
They're just
that's the other thing, too.
That's what I'm most scared of,
The
man.
fatigue is so intense. The stress can be so high that, like, Amanda and I will say some things to each other. We're just like, don't tell anybody. You just got to get that off of your chest.
Right,
It's
right.
Like, really, really, dark, creepy stuff. But you'd be surprised where your mind wanders off to.
I think that's like a strong relationship thing.
Yeah.
That you don't, like, you can just do jokes. Yeah.
And I cannot, I've actually done this. I'm a little disappointed when I talked about this in the past. When I came in, we did the monologues. Like, I didn't mention Amanda at all, and she's been amazing. She actually, like, just absolute business pro. Gave birth on Friday. Following Friday, she's in the booth doing a job.
Damn.
No way. She's still booking?
Still booking.
Nice.
Can't drive. They said 2 weeks you can't drive because it involves the core, like around the waist, all those muscles, and like that stuff's still healing and progressing. But it was a really good gig, and she's like, I'd hate to give this gig up. I'd like to go do it. So
nice.
Hopefully we'll be able to talk about that job someday. So. It was a good one.
So it's like maybe something related to the kinds of things we talk about on this podcast?
Maybe.
Ooh. Okay. Very, very cool.
But definitely shout out to Amanda. She's been absolutely incredible.
Shout out.
Yeah. Jones?
And shout out to the allies too for.
We didn't do a thing.
Yeah.
You did. Oh, come on. You've
Things
done
are
plenty.
carrying on.
Even just getting here and seeing all of you guys walking up the stairs with like bottles of water. I was like, I was just thinking I needed to do that. But like the fact that we all have weird jobs that we've kind of designed ourselves. Like I have these weird areas of expertise, so I'll just handle this and try to figure this stuff out. And this has been a wild summer, of all, lots of emotional ups and downs, for all of us. And so the idea that one of us can step aside and the other person can fill in. I think when we were at Game Trailers, we're owned by Viacom or Defy Media. It's kind of like on them to do that. But when we have the equal partnership that we have, it's like it seems like something easily that I would do. But when you're on the other end and you actually see those messages in Slack of like, take all the time you need, we're here for you. It's just like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Can't take that stuff for granted. It's a big deal.
For sure, dude.
And I'm gonna milk that. It's gonna be like mid-September.
Do you hear
You're
that?
like, hey Jones,
Sounds like it's podcast halftime.
Oh boy.
Dirty.
The following are the official sponsors of Easy Allies for the month of July. Hogue Law Business Law Firm. Whether you're starting a business at level 1, stuck fighting the dreaded fundraising boss, or finally cashing out with a well-earned high score, you need a good business lawyer at your side. Or at least that good business lawyer's YouTube and podcast series, Virtual Legality. Check it all out at youtube.com/HOEG Law or on your favorite podcast service. Uniqlo is a Japanese fashion brand aiming to change the world through the power of clothing. With a focus on high quality and innovative textiles, Uniqlo is redefining everyday clothing by increasing the functionality of your wardrobe at an affordable price. They call it Lifewear Made for All. Visit uniqlo.com/EZA to check out their collections, including new and upcoming graphic t-shirt collaborations with Nintendo, Star Wars, Street Fighter, Monster Hunter, and many more. That's uniqlo.com/EZA. Car Keys Express. If you need a replacement car key or a remote, check out carkeysexpress.com/store. Use the coupon code EZA at checkout for free shipping and 10% off of your order. They are proud sponsors of Easy Allies. El Fanis. Our gifted sponsor this month is the Able Gamers Foundation, a nonprofit charity that aims to improve the overall quality of life for those with disabilities through the power of video games, creating opportunities that enable play in order to combat social isolation, foster inclusive communities, and improve the quality of life for people with disabilities. The link to donate is in the description. And our mega sponsor, ViewSonic. ViewSonic aims to be the preferred global brand of visual solution products. ViewSonic is dedicated to meeting the needs of their customers, generating profitable growth through efficient operations. They meet their customers' expectations with superior products, customer service, and industry knowledge. ViewSonic gaming monitors are engineered to deliver best-in-class features for all types of gamers. All of these links are available in the description. Thank you to our sponsors.
Thank you, sponsors. A lot of games released the last few weeks. It's really hard for anybody to determine like what should I be playing? How do I pick one game? And that is why we introduce the gaming game. This is where Ian Hink, you will be presented with 3 potential games to play.
Man, I forgot about this.
Yep. You got to ask them questions. You get to ask them questions for a few rounds. Once you feel like you have a good sense of which game is which, you will choose one to play, but also guess who is each game. Panelists, please take a peek at the paper in front of you. You will be representing this game to Ian. You want Ian to play you. So you got to represent yourself the best way possible, but be honest. Be honest about yourself. Ian, you feel ready?
Sure, we're going to wing it.
Okay, that's the whole point. Let's wing it.
Okay, game number 1.
That's Jones.
Which would be you, Jonesy.
Yep.
Are you a good kisser?
I've had a rough life. I'm not into kissing right now.
Oh, Ian, I do have to tell you, I thought Mario Maker 2 would be too easy, so I took that one out.
Okay.
Nobody's going to be Mario Maker 2.
Got it.
Okay.
Because we know that's your main
That's
squeeze.
safe. That's safe.
Love that.
He's already dating
Love
Mario
that.
Maker. He really shouldn't be doing this, but we're not going to talk about
looking
that.
for a side game.
Yeah.
Game number 2. I like romantic long walks. Do you like to go on long walks?
Yes, there's lots of long walking, perhaps running in my game.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Game number 3. I appreciate a nice gift, but I'm into like cutesy stuff. Are you cutesy, do you think?
Definitely very cute, and I can be cute in so many different ways. I can be cute in the way you want me to.
No!
That's how you play it.
That was too good.
Yeah.
That's how you play the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hot in here.
Game number 1.
Yeah.
I grew up religious, and I am afraid of demonic retribution. Would I get to exorcise any demons with you on a date, perhaps?
No. I am a seeker of justice. So I don't dabble in any of that stuff.
Okay. Game number 2. I like to read a lot, and I don't really like too many voices in my head. You know what I mean?
Sure.
What?
Would I get to read a lot with you?
Very revealing this episode.
There's reading, but there's definitely more voices than just pure reading.
Okay.
You could do both, though,
Okay.
to an extent.
Game number 3. I have a lot. It's been a long time since I've had a dream when I've been asleep. If I'm with you, I don't remember my dreams. Basically, when I wake up, I miss them. When I'm with you, would I have a lot of nice dreams?
Oh, got it.
You would have a lot of good dreams here. You would have dreams of adventure. You'd have dreams of walking around very large areas, and you'd have dreams of really big battles.
Oh my.
Great. Game number 1. I like to avenge a lot of crimes. Would I get to do that with you?
Crimes, you say?
Yeah.
Now you're speaking my language.
Oh.
I'm so bad at this.
That one's probably pretty locked in.
Game number 2. Long with voice acting. If you were on
The Epic Game Store.
the Epic Game Store, how mad would people be that you're on the Epic Game Store?
That's a great question.
Probably pretty mad.
Okay, great. Thank you, Jones. I think I may have a guess.
Okay, all right. Question's over. Here we go. So let us know who the two people you're not selecting are and who you think they are.
I think I'm going to date game number 3.
Okay. Wow.
My guess for game number 1 is Avengers.
That game's not out yet.
I thought these were all not out yet games.
No, these games are out.
You can
the
play
last
these
few
right now.
weeks.
Oh, damn.
Damn.
Well, I was doing it wrong then.
All right, so game number 1's about justice, about
Justice.
cracking down on crime.
About justice.
Is there a...
You want to ask another question to each person?
Yeah, one more round. One more
I
round.
have no idea what games just came
Get
out.
personal. Get
Heads
personal.
up.
Get personal. One more round.
I legit have no idea what games came out besides Mario Maker 2, so I'm not gonna get it.
Not all of them just came out. Pretty recently, though.
Yeah, last
Pretty
few weeks.
recently.
We're talking last few weeks.
No idea.
Okay, cool.
Number 1, what game are you?
Judgment.
Judgment.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Judgment.
Now I get it.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
Bloodstain. Ritual of the Night.
Nice.
Sure. There is a lot of talking.
Yep.
And wait, do you have no guess for Damiani?
I mean, I thought he was Pokemon. I was doing games that aren't out yet.
Uh-huh. What do you think he is now?
No idea. I thought he was Dreams at first.
Because he can be as cute as he wants you to be
yeah.
in as many ways as possible. What? Wait till you hear this. Wait till you hear this.
I was Shadowbringers, Ian. Create your own
God.
character. I was hoping you'd give me an angle to talk about dancing and dancers, but
I like to
It
go
just would have
dancing.
thrown him off more.
And I happen to know that he's already dating Brad's game. So this is
Yep.
salacious.
Yeah.
So Ian, yeah, you get to play
Well, they're
Final
they're
Fantasy
taking a
XIV
break.
Shadowbringers now.
Great. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I hope you both have a good time. It is now time for Love and Respect.
love and respect.
We got a cute question.
Okay.
We got a question that is as cute as I want it to be.
Okay.
I'm a high school teacher and want to connect with students who also play games. However, I don't simply wish to shout out, "Hey, fellow kids, does anyone else video game?" What are some subtle ways to interject more my love for games of old and new? Love and respect, Dr. Greg.
Sorry, did I say what subject they teach?
No. And here's what's actually funny. So I refreshed it just before the podcast to see if any new ones, new Love and Respects came in. And somebody actually replied to this, another teacher. So check this out. Kex says, "This is so awesome. As a science teacher, I guess it depends on what exact fields you cover, but you might find clever ways to use gaming words or phrases. For instance, if you're teaching them how to add or combine chemical values, you could say it's like crafting. That'll raise some eyebrows for sure. Of course, I'm sure my example is terrible and chemical compositions are not at all like crafting, but you get my meaning, right? I think the gaming world has a very unique dialect, and using any of those words will probably cause some reactions. Just gotta be attentive for those smiles." I think we get a lot of teachers. I think EZA has like a disproportionate like teacher audience.
Merchandise? Wondering? You wear a shirt from one of your favorite
Ooh,
franchises?
like a
and
tie. That's just like just that one day. You got
Yeah,
that
yeah. And
tie.
on the way out the door, you're
Yes.
just like, okay, everybody, see you tomorrow. And somebody's like, hey, it's Zelda, man. You a Zelda fan? You're like,
Yeah.
I am.
Play music in your classroom before they come in, blasting Doom as they're walking in your classroom.
Brad, that's a legitimately good
Hell
idea.
yeah. That would be the sickest teacher of all time.
Get with the times, and when your kids get your questions right, you give them a loot box and have them open it.
Oh my goodness.
I'm kidding. No, actually, planning subjects. That's why I was asking what subject they teach. Maybe planning like a lesson around like a game theme. I don't know how advanced some of the classes like get. Like science might be like that was a good science example.
Yeah.
In college, actually, I took courses on how like media influences like social interaction and like that. And one of our professors used was it RuneScape or old like MMO or whatever from back in the day, and like made us play it and stuff, and talked like asked us questions about like, okay, like how did you feel about like player interaction, like stuff like that versus like really interacting and stuff like that. So I mean, it might be cool to like I don't know, like if you're doing a science class, like maybe take Mario Maker and be like, all right, we're gonna like, here, like if I want to make this like, jump over this, and Mario's running at this speed and he got to jump, like how, like just put in iconic like video game phrases or video game imagery into a question on like an exam or something like that, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I get
that training level in Smash Brothers with the grid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think actually phrases are good. You just got like the ones that we use conversationally, like OP. You know what I mean? Like Moby Dick is OP. People will get it. It's like, oh, okay, I got it. Like things like that. I try to think of like more gaming phrases that aren't cringy. You know what I mean? Like
DPS.
DPS is funny, dude.
Like do it. Like if you're thinking about math, it's like, okay, your current DPS output is this, and like this boss has this HP, but like you can make it like an algebra question.
How long will it take for us to take on the
that's
boss?
simplifying it, but yeah, you can make like an algebra question more advanced like that. Remember the whole question? Like everyone had like the question, like if Billy's on the ground and tosses a ball up the like Chris on the Ferris wheel and it's spinning at this, how hard will you have to throw? It's like, well, okay, if you're doing this much, like 6 different characters doing this DPS or whatever, blah blah blah, like. You can do stuff like that, or like Materia in Final Fantasy 7. It's like each one has a stat attribute, so it's like you got to figure out like what combination will work and stuff like that. I don't know.
Should Mr. Greg floss? Excuse me, Dr. Greg. Should Dr. Greg floss?
He should make a bet with his class, and if they collectively get above a certain grade point
That's really
on an
good.
exam, he will do it for them, and they can film it.
You nailed it, Dami.
There you go.
That's the best.
Yeah, making your teachers do like silly, embarrassing things is actually
humiliate
super
your teacher.
fun.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
You could be like a PE teacher and talk to them about like performing heat actions in dodgeball or something like that. That's what that'd be. That's what I'm
like a
talking
deep
about.
cut, because like the Fortnite kids are even like, what?
But that's how
action?
you get
know
like
what I mean? Like
students like Ben and
Yeah.
Hubert to be like,
the ones on the
brilliant.
backs of the
Yeah.
bleachers are just like, whoa, yeah.
yeah, heat action.
But it's good that you brought up Fortnite though. Is that Fortnite's off limits? Just don't even mention Fortnite.
You think so?
Because that seems like the most obvious. Where are these kids playing today? Fortnite.
It does seem like
It
that,
just seems
yeah.
like
It is.
you want to find that deep cut, even if you just hit the one kid in the back. That's like, wait a minute. And then they were hanging out later. And it's like, did anybody pick up Mr. Johnson's like comment today about like Quake? That was weird.
Yeah. Goomba.
Yeah. You Goombas.
How many Goombas could fit in a jar? It's like, okay. Dr. Greg, can I go to the bathroom? Cool. Fun question. Good luck to you. Keep us updated. If you get any like nods, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think that's the best you could get.
nod
as a
of
high school
approval?
teacher.
And if it
Yeah.
really goes south, blame Easy Allies.
Yep, please. Let us play a game. So a lot of times when I get games submitted that are like, hey, they played this on this other show or on this other podcast, I'm like, well, that's their thing. This person found my weakness. They found a thing that is a segment on some other show that I'm like, yeah, I want to play that too. Okay. This comes from Sagittarius Cornwallis. Hi, allies. My brother was watching The Herd with Colin Coward, sports commentator on FS1.
I know sports.
And Colin started to do a segment called Up, Down, or Even. Premise is, how well will certain basketball teams be doing in 1 year? Are they better, worse, or about the same? Hence the title Up, Down, or Even. I thought this could translate well into video game developers. 1 year from now, how will we feel about these studios and their output? Bethesda. Game studios. Up, down, or even?
Up.
I mean, Doom will be out, so up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know what? We'll have Wolfenstein, we'll have Doom
Yeah.
a year from now, and we won't have, like, more bad ones. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, coming out Fallout.
I think it's
I was
easy
gonna
case
go
for
with
up.
even,
Yeah.
but I forgot about Fallout.
Like when you're
already.
at the bottom where they currently are. Yes.
And they're, like, working on Fallout still, so even the people who
It'll
are,
be
like,
like better. Hopefully,
yeah.
it's like a No Man's Sky situation.
Yeah.
Good point.
Game Freak.
Oh, up.
Up?
Yeah.
Even.
I'm abstaining from future, like, Pokemon criticism. I just had an epiphany. I'm like, I'm not doing it anymore. I could go, Jones,
I could be sold on even.
You think
I
up,
don't see
man?
it going down though. Yeah, I might.
So, Jones, are you up on the
Change my
controversy,
vote.
dude? About how you can't port any old Pokemon that
Right.
you're putting into your old
Yeah,
your
yeah.
little Pokemon farm into this game. Are you up on this?
Yes.
Okay.
I just think we haven't had the opportunity to really be charmed by the story and the world. And I think
Okay.
a year from now we'll actually be playing that game and thinking of it. I think about Let's Go. I was not expecting to play Let's Go at all. I'm like, I am in fact not going to play this game, and I did and loved it. So
I wonder if they're down from Let's Go though.
Depending who you talk to.
Yeah.
To me, they're up.
Okay.
Because like I'm not a hardcore Pokemon fan at all.
Sure.
But like they put it on console finally, so I'm like, oh okay,
Wow.
you got me now.
Okay, cool to know.
But they'll be the same.
Arcane Studios.
Ooh, Arcane.
So they're working on Wolfenstein.
Oh, they're helping with it. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're working on that
Deathloop.
Deathloop.
That's
Deathloop.
what, yeah.
I think that's an easy up.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I love Dishonored 1 and 2. I adore those games.
Yeah, just a
I'm sure they'll
massive
be great.
delay, I think, would affect that.
Yeah.
If Deathloop, we're a year from now. It's like we still just have that one trailer. That's it.
No, well,
Then
a
I
year
could
from
see it
now,
being
we'll see
even,
like a
but-
cool E3 presentation. I bet.
Sure.
Yeah,
for
we have
Deathloop.
to see it like played next year.
Yeah. Platinum.
Platinum
will have Astral Chain. It will have been released, and I bet we'll have seen a Bayonetta 3 trailer with it about to release next fall. I bet that's where we're going to be at next year.
Still be probably even.
I go even. Yeah.
Even's fair. Yeah, I
This
think
is
even's
Platinum's
fair.
Platinum. I
And
think-
Platinum's high right now, right?
Yeah.
Like Platinum's,
They're high.
top 10 developer.
They're just one of those devs that delivers.
Yeah.
You know, they're known for doing a thing. They do that thing very well. I think even when
Yeah.
they bring new IPs or fun sequels, I think it just still kind of maintains status quo.
I hear you. WB Montreal.
Oof. What a wild card.
Yeah, huge
is that
wild card.
Batman Origins? Which one
Yeah.
is this? Okay.
Yeah. Who's working on question mark? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even's the safest bet, I think. Well, no, it can't be even. It's got to be up or down.
Yeah, it can't be even. God, we're gonna know something. There's gonna be something that changes with WB Montreal.
I'm gonna be positive. Say up.
I'll go up too. Because I think
Damiani?
if people aren't into it, they'll just bail. I don't think they're gonna like consistently be angry at whatever it is. If they're not interested, they just won't be interested.
You know what? It is a studio. We're not gonna be mad at them. I think.
Yeah.
Fair.
You sold me up.
Always bums me out when they call it the Arkham trilogy. So it's like, oh,
Yeah, it's such a slight
get out of here,
bit
Montreal. It's like there were 4 of them. Okay. You know.
Oh, you're right. That
I
is
mean, it's
kind of
like
sucky.
they don't call it like like Rocksteady's trilogy. They just call it the Arkham trilogy.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, bummer.
Yeah, I thought Origins is alright.
This,
Oh, it's great.
This next one's on top. I don't know how they could go higher, but let's see the panel justify it. Capcom. 1 year from now.
1 year?
Yes.
I think we'll start seeing teases of their next gen projects. So up.
Oh, how could they go up from here, Brad?
Up. Dude.
They just had their best year
Dude,
ever.
that Resident Evil 3 tease or 8. Mm-hmm. Dragon's Dogma 2 tease. Mm-hmm. Anything, man.
Street Fighter,
Street Fighter 6. Mm-hmm. Darkstalker's back.
Mega Man.
There's no way Monster Hunter doesn't have another expansion, right? There's no way Iceborne's just it.
It might be it.
Like, there's
but
there's
probably
going to
won't
be
be next
another
year.
Iceborne, right?
Yeah.
Good question. I wonder if
teams
they
have started
do
to
It
drop
will
of
be
that.
next year.
It's like World 2 or another expansion.
I think
is
they'll
the
go to
question.
World 2.
Yeah.
It is an interesting
Like,
question.
I'm shocked they actually just did an expansion.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But I'd still go even. But I'd be surprised if they drop.
Up, baby.
World 2 is next gen. So yeah, maybe they would do a whole new game because they're going to next
Oh, yeah.
gen.
Yeah.
Atlas.
Atlas.
Kind of,
Persona.
just Persona.
I don't think
man.
they'll have anything.
'Cause
That
like-
other fantasy game they're working on, I don't foresee coming out for a long time.
Yeah, I think over the
And
next
where's
month we're just gonna see 5R and 5S.
SMT 5, dude. Was
Yeah.
that even coming out?
Or Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Are they going down?
No, I think they'll be even because they got Persona Q coming out and stuff like that.
Okay.
Two,
Kind of seems like
Persona
they're
Q.
coasting to me.
I mean, they just take a long time for a lot of like.
And
It depends.
It
who's
sounds
doing
like it also sounds like they salvaged the Catherine full body stuff
Yeah.
as well.
They did. They changed the stuff
they
with
changed the stuff
the
with
localization.
the third Catherine, yeah.
Sure. Retro Studios.
retro.
Yeah, baby.
Whatever they're doing.
Whoa.
Up,
Just tell me up, baby. Tell me up.
up.
Damiani, tell me up.
I don't know if we're gonna see Metroid next year. So how you gonna? I can't.
I think we'll see it.
We're gonna see it.
I don't think.
dude.
I don't know if it'll be out, but I think we'll see it.
Wow.
I think it's early.
Wow.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm convinced.
you're right,
I'm convinced.
dude.
I'm convinced at this point.
No, let's say they started full development like 3 months ago, right? Like, yeah, it's reasonable.
It's
to
weird
think
at this
it'll be a while.
point to have seen an actual in-game representation of Breath of the Wild
It-
2 and nothing for Prime
Until,
4.
well,
I did
they had
not
to
think we would
restart
be here.
development, Yeah. Until I see something of Prime 4, even the trilogy, like, okay, that's cool, but that was something they made already. They're just remastering in HD. I expect that to be good. Until I see Metroid Prime 4 and it actually wows me, like, they're at a low point for me right now.
Yeah.
They've been at a low point for a few years.
Wait,
since
when
they
did
had
Tropical
nothing.
Freeze come out?
That was
2015?
2013.
So was that their last game?
Tropical Freeze came out in 2013 for Wii U.
Wasn't that their last game?
Dude.
Yeah, that was 2013.
Whoa.
It's been
So they have to have been doing something for years at
before it
least.
came out on Switch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they have 2 games.
I think Schreier said at least one game has been canceled since then.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we don't know.
Star Fox.
He doesn't have the full-on scoops, so yeah, we don't really know what's been going on. Do you think there's a chance when we see
February
2014?
14.
Okay.
It's been 5 years. Or,
Yeah, 5 years. Sorry. Thank you. For
Do you think there's a chance when we see Metroid Prime 4 that we're not totally stoked? When we see that first trailer, is there a chance that it's like, Avengers? It's like, well, wait, come on.
Slim.
And then it's over? Slim?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Because there's no rush at this point.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that have put it in our mind that this is far away, and so I think just capitalize on that. Take your time.
Sure.
Like Cyberpunk, just no rush.
Yeah. Worst case, it looks too much like the original Metroid Prime. Like they're not doing anything radically new, which is just they're playing it safe because whatever they were trying to do before was a train wreck. And so they just want to put out another entry that.
I mean, I think they kind of have to reel it back, man. They got to make it more like Prime 1 than Prime 3.
Yeah.
Like if they show a bunch of like NPCs and you're like having conversations with like more Galactic Federation people,
I think
the
I think the expectation is that next Metroid, even if it's called Prime 4, is that it needs to be doing something new and as big of a deal as like Breath of the Wild did.
Yeah.
Like I think that's where I think they understand expectations are out, like off the charts for this.
Which is great. I mean, like Metroid
It's a little
Prime,
unreal. It's a little unrealistic, the expectations for it.
Prime 1 was kind of that.
Oh
Prime
yeah,
1 was kind
Prime
of
one,
like
yeah.
a
huge
major
change.
rethinking. Just like we're gonna take everything that made that original so great, we're gonna apply it to this whole world. And
I remember
it was
this.
that, man.
It's still. I know that they wouldn't pick the name Prime even in the teaser logo if it didn't have some like connections to that. But obviously, like they haven't settled on a title yet, so there's still time for them to be like.
Yeah, they could change stuff.
Yeah, the subtitle could be like, "Oh, that's clearly hinting at this is going to do something radically different or something like that."
Super Metroid.
I got a tricky one.
Okay.
Ninja Theory.
A year from now?
A year from now, I don't know if we'll see their new game, and we'll have been playing that weird Battler game.
I think they'll be
What's it called? Bone Lust?
Bleeding Edge.
Bleeding Edge.
Bloody Edge was Bud's character, right?
Yes. Bloody Edge, Bleeding Edge. Yes.
I think it'll be the same. But this game is very different from what they're usually known for doing, like single-player story-driven games.
Yeah.
I wonder if this will jive with their diehard fans that much.
Yeah, it's potentially got a huge audience because hey, if you're paying for Game Pass, you just got this coming in, and so you have like a huge online player base day one, which is kind of cool. It could be huge.
Could be kind of an Apex situation.
Yeah. Or it could be like a Crackdown 3, where it's just like burr burr.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Crackdown 3, we're also like Game Pass buds. It's gonna be huge. Burr burr. But like, Game Pass can't save some games. It can like Sea of Thieves. It can project big time. It could help you out, but it's like some games are just unsalvageable. Yeah, I do wonder where this one will fall. Okay. Team Ninja. While we're talking about ninjas.
Team Ninja?
Yeah. Team Ninja's putting out Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Ninja Gaiden 4.
Gotta be happening.
Real
right?
deal.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's happening. It's been a long time.
I don't know if we'll have any announcements from them besides this Marvel thing. Because we had Dead or Alive this last year. Right?
Oh, Neo 2 is coming out. That's them.
It is them.
Yeah, so up.
They're going to be way up, Brad.
Yeah.
Good
There you
point,
go,
dude.
good
I forgot
point,
about
yeah.
Neo 2. And that's coming out this year, dude.
It's gonna be funny, like getting confused over Avengers versus Ultimate Alliance added characters. You're just like, hey, dude, is Doctor Strange was just added to Avengers? Like, no, Ultimate Alliance. Like, oh, right. Sorry.
Yeah. You're right, man. Well, I don't think there's going to be a lot of overlap, to be honest. Sega.
Well, they keep saying they're planning something big for Sega or Sonic's 30th birthday next year.
Really?
Yeah.
Sonic Boom 2.
Damiani, what could they be? The best possible
Sonic
thing is
Mania
just
2.
another Sonic game, right?
Sonic Mania 2.
Yeah, maybe Mania
Is
2.
PSO2 next year as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Up, baby,
Or,
up.
just giving you some stuff.
They're killing it on the PC front. I really respect
Yeah,
what they
and
do over there.
Yakuza games and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Despite all the storefront controversy, Shenmue 3. Oh, no, that's not them. Damn it. Shit.
No.
Sorry, Sega.
Have we had one down
You're
yet?
the bad guy, Sega. You're messing with me.
We've had downs.
I want to give something down.
Okay.
Give it down.
This is funny. WB Montreal was listed twice. They really wanted their opinion on that.
Down.
Sony's Japan studio.
Oh.
Japan studio? Mm-hmm. I usually like what they do. So up. Usually what they're involved in.
Whoa.
Depends if they have something
I
for
have to
launch
know
by
why
PS5.
why you're sighing so much, Damiani. Why?
They could have something at launch for PS5.
Yeah, man. Ape Escape.
Puppeteer 2, baby.
What are you thinking, dude? They're going to announce Ape Escape for PS4. They're going to release it that year, dude. We're going to be capturing monkeys, and you're going to be clapping the whole time. And then you're going to say, man, they're way up. Way, way up.
Way up, dude. Catching apes? Hell yeah.
So Damiani's skepticism is realistic.
Yeah.
Sony's Japan studio is not its #1 studio, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy, but yeah, you know
They've been helping out on like From Software games,
Right.
Like
Yeah.
Bloodborne and Deracine and stuff like that.
yeah, but their solo stuff doesn't
Bloodborne
really
2.
blow up too big.
They're gonna be helping on
Yeah,
that.
it's been a
Boom.
while.
Okay,
for them,
and then we'll
yeah.
blow
Let's
up.
go.
Okay. I'll give you that.
All right, Jones, how about this? A BioWare.
Ooh boy.
I wanted to throw you a down, man. You don't feel down on BioWare?
Yeah, because Dragon Age could do something weird. Dragon Age could come back in some
It's gonna do something weird.
do some weird delay or some trailer like some Avengers thing or something when they see it. It's just like, oh, that's not what we thought this was going to be. And
I mean, they already kind of hinted it's not going to be what we think it's going to be. That it's going to be like, hey, it's a living, breathing story. It's going to change throughout the year.
It's
The year?
Yeah,
Like a
man.
game of service.
It's a
it's
game.
a-
They've
yeah.
promised
games.
it's a game of
Games.
service.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
a loot and shoot,
which sucks.
but medieval fantasy style.
Yeah. Medieval loot game.
Ancient Borderlands. There you go.
Well, I'd say more fantasy. I wouldn't call it medieval necessarily.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry,
it's-
that's
yeah.
what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Thank you.
But what if it's cool?
But what if it's cool?
What if
dude?
it's
Why
cool?
did they make an auto chess game?
They can, and then they would be up. Generally, I'm not like, wow. Like think about a year ago, we had not launched Anthem yet. You know what I mean? And we would have said, up, baby. This is
Yeah.
gonna be huge. They like EA's fully supporting them. They're gonna have another huge release. This is gonna be their next Mass Effect.
The A team.
Yes.
the thing about down is it doesn't have to be like a plummet.
Right.
You know,
No.
it can still just be 0.1%, and that's still technically down.
Yeah.
So I think, there'll just be general fatigue where Dragon Age is taking longer. You know, Anthem hasn't had a lot of cool updates.
I don't even know if we'll see Dragon Age next year, so might just be this like the same.
Thing is, they pushed out the Game Awards trailer just to
I know.
get people happy.
I
Which
think
wasn't anything.
I
Yeah,
think
mean,
they're gonna like pump the brakes though.
I should hope so. You're right. They need to change a course.
They need to.
Yeah.
Do you
what's
think if they canceled Anthem, it would be an up?
Man, if Anthem was canceled earlier than Old Republic, oh boy.
I mean, like, the sad thing is, like, Anthem is basically canceled. Like, they really gutted the team who was working on it. Those people who are left are working as hard as they can, but they can't implement all the things that were promised for Anthem. It's, like, truly sad. I think it is canceled, basically.
Yeah, they're probably just moving on to the next thing.
Right. They had this whole roadmap with this presumed team of this many people, and they're like, hey, we're going to take in, like, most of those people onto some other project. Why don't all of you try to execute this roadmap? It's like, what? We can't?
Yeah.
Oh, hurts. Sorry, BioWare. Nothing personal. I bet on The Herd with Colin Coward, that was a 3-minute segment.
Yeah.
He's very concise. All right.
Tom Brady, up or down?
Up. He loves Tom Brady. Let's do one more.
It's like the only football player I know.
Let us do a philosophical question.
All right.
We got to get into philosophy here. Allies, I turn to you with turbulent thoughts. With the recent release of Final Fantasy XIV Storm Shadowbringers, I decided to update my playable character, going so far as to change race entirely. Now, I have been with this avatar since day one, and we've shared many an adventure across Eorzea. However, I can't help but shake the niggle that I've done dirty on my main. Have I essentially rolled a new character? Or is race faction change within world and with lore reasoning okay in your book? Is it still my character? Have yourselves any examples where you've had a similar struggle? Love and respect, allies. Chris from Western Australia.
Even when I get a 14 question on this podcast, it's a Balmung player asking about RP stuff. It's not enough you ask Yoshi P all your Balmung RP questions. You got to ask it to us now. That sounds like the meme is like that sounds like an RP question.
It is an
and,
RP
and like
question.
Balmung's the RP server, so
where
people
everybody
get
talks in
angry.
character,
So like
gotcha,
people get
gotcha,
upset when people ask RP questions to Yoshi P, and they're like,
he doesn't
"Don't
care."
talk about game updates. Stop
Yeah,
talking.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
why did this race do this?" They're like, "No one cares." Like, no, it's that whole thing.
Yeah. I think this question stretches beyond Final Fantasy
yeah.
14.
Yeah, but I would,
Yeah, for my exposure to 14, I think you kind of have to make up your own lore boundaries, kind of what. Because if you really look at the way that world is built and the way that story is told, granted I have not played any expansions. This was just like the main, not the original, but Realm Reborn. Like, you know, there's convertibles driving around and lightning attacking monsters. And
Dungani's got a stupid robot gorilla with a jetpack right now.
that every 5 seconds someone goes, "Is that Winston from Overwatch?"
Yeah, it is.
This weekend had like at least every 5 minutes someone new coming and go, "Oh, whoa, Winston from Overwatch is in 14." I was like, "This is never gonna die." No,
So-
So it's a fair point.
Those things, whenever they do those things, I'm like, oh, you bummer. Like that, you know, for me as a player, that would kind of mess with my, because when I have played MMOs in the past, I get very much into lore, very much into. That's why I get immersed. I look around the world and I think, look at my character, look at this world that I'm in, and then something like that will maybe come along and break it. Or even like when they make class changes, I remember, you know, coming back to Warcraft after a while, and like my class was completely different now, and I had to wonder, like, do I even want to play this anymore? Because this is not the style of play. And so I think it's kind of on you to figure out like who you are and what your place in this world is.
Yeah.
So I think that's totally fine.
Listen, I'll say this.
Write your own story.
You are the soul of the character. The way your avatar looks is just a shell of your character. What really matters is the inside of the character. It'll always be you. It'll always be your character. It just looks different. You can make up some RP reason for why it looks different.
switching races?
You
Totally.
touch some crystal and you changed race, like whatever.
Yeah.
But
It's
you will
always the
always
crystals.
be that character, even if you change the way they look. It's always your character.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't sweat it.
Depends on, I mean, yeah, there's RP. I mean, beyond 14, like almost every MMO has like online communities that are dedicated to RPing and stuff. So like there'll be like server rules, like where you said like, hey, if you hang out in this area, like you shouldn't be like using this like stupid looking mount over here. Like you'll get kind of like nudged, like, you shouldn't be doing that and stuff. And then there'll be servers where it's like you come out of this really intense like cutscene where you're supposed to be like isolated, and you're dropped into like a deluge of people that's around this like spot that you're supposed to be isolated. It's like, oh, hi everybody. Like
Yeah.
that's weird. Like it goes with the territory there. But I mean, it's, yeah, as Joan said, it's up to you. Like if you want to make up your own story, go ahead. I mean, 14 specifically crafts a pretty good story for your own character as well.
But you can't all be the warrior of light, right? Like
Yeah, like the race change stuff, like it's depends. If you take it seriously, then sure, maybe, you know, it is a big deal for you, and you're having second thoughts. But if you're just there to have like fun, it's not that big of a deal.
You know what you should do is like RP like walking awkwardly. Like if I became an attractive bunny woman suddenly, I wouldn't be able to walk right. So I think this person, when you're playing your character, you should like kind of like walk in stutters in weird
I
ways.
wish you could, yeah, you could do an emote or something and do that and pull it off.
And
That'd
you
be
could
kind
like
of funny.
mess up your words a little bit, just like, I'm sorry, I'm new to this language.
Yeah, how do
You
I
can do
speak
things
this
like
again?
that.
Also think of the boon that you're getting by getting more lore. Like you're seeing this world from another perspective, and so you, as a player, you are actually enriching your experience by getting more. I mean, I don't know how much if certain characters will treat you differently or say different things, or if you talk to someone from your race, or if you're only allowed into certain areas, or if you go, you know, if the Lalafell go back to where the Lalafell come from, and they, you know, you like might talk to some people, or might open up some quests. I remember one really cool thing in Warcraft is when Death Knights came out, and so you could just make a level 55 character out of nothing, and so I made a Horde character, and I like went into Horde areas. It was like, I've never ever been in here because I was only Alliance.
Oh, for sure.
And it's like, man, the Horde definitely has better interior designers than the Alliance does. I'm missing out. Oh yeah, like, oh, those areas are way cooler than the Alliance. I'm always a good guy when I play games, so like
I know you
I
are,
have no
yeah, make
regrets
fun of
from
it.
playing
Yeah,
Alliance,
I
but
can do that.
I really dug that. It was kind of fun. I was like behind enemy lines, like whoa.
Yeah.
So yeah, I appreciated
Yeah,
that.
I will say if you are, I don't know what they didn't say what their 14 race is, but their Lalafell, definitely, yes, you should definitely change. You know, being a potato is never a good thing in Final Fantasy 14.
What's
What?
potato?
That's the nickname for Lalafells in Final Fantasy 14.
Why?
They call them potatoes. They'll take way too long to go over here.
Because they're little?
Yes.
Was there hate for the Taru in 11? What's it with the Lalafell?
I don't know
all
about
of a sudden?
11.
Lalafell is the same thing as Tartar,
In
right?
14,
I mean,
yes.
yeah,
In 14,
thematically,
in 14
yeah,
it's
but-
a joke. I don't know if it was ever serious in 11 or something. This is just a meme. Like, this is a joke. People
Be a
call them
potato.
potatoes.
I think they're cute.
Because I love that in 11, that like one of the highest level, you know, most advanced characters that I met in 11 who helped me a lot. Shout out to Sharky. Was a little Taru, and so it was fun, you know, having him just really awesome armor, and I'm like 30 levels below him, and he's like, here, go this way, and then I would do something, and he'd clap.
See?
And I'm just like,
Adventure
that's so
is
cool,
bonding and stuff.
This little tiny guy is such a badass.
See, that's what matters, honestly. Yeah, and specifically 14. There's no concern. This person probably already knows it. Like, there's no concerns about if you pick X race, you're gonna be better expected to do these jobs. None of that like exists.
Right.
It's like the most minuscule of the minuscule that's held over from 1.0, but in the broadest sense of terms, it does not matter. You don't have to worry about that. So be what you want to be. Have a good time and stuff.
Yeah. There's definitely been like Pokemon I got for free that I don't feel like are real Pokemon.
Oh.
I'm like, you're not real. You're not from this world. You're just a digital giveaway.
Like Farfetch'd?
No, Farfetch'd is legit, dude. He has a name. He comes in from a character in game. But sometimes it's like, come in to GameStop and just let's transfer a character right into your game.
Oh.
And it's like a level
Kyle?
100 Arceus. It's just like, I'm God now. It's like, you're not, dude.
Have you ever have you ever come across someone? I haven't. I'm curious if you have come across anyone who actually tried to make up a RP reason for going to GameStop, like fan fiction, where it's like it's a real it totally works within my
Aren't
head
those
canon.
the Pokemon that deserve the most love,
Yeah,
Kyle?
I guess so. The GameStop ones.
The GameStop.
I haven't seen it.
Who's got a GameStop fan fiction for us of how
It's
you
not
get
their
me
fault
to?
they're at GameStop.
It's not beyond me, though. I love that. Yeah.
I think that'd be so cool.
Do not regret changing races.
Yes, don't.
Just find a
Just
way.
don't
Touch
do it.
the crystal.
Don't get addicted to it. I've heard stories of people spending lots of money because it's like $10 a pop or something to change in 14.
Oh.
Yeah, it costs money.
So some people are just like, ooh, and now I want to be a lion.
You can change like your hairstyle and like
for $10.
No, for free.
Gotcha.
There's very like
Small changes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like but you can't change race without paying for.
Every
a
time I
fan
see your
fan.
character, you have the exact same hairstyle, dude.
Yeah, I know because I maintain my character.
I think a character would change her hairstyle.
Dude, I changed mine for the first time ever since Realm Reborn.
They don't have the correct short hair hairstyle that matches short hair Korra. So I've tried. I tried different ones. Like there's a
You tried it out.
Kyle, I rocked the
Appreciate it.
Noctis haircut briefly,
Oh,
just
'cause
because
it was like a
just because it
promotion?
was hilarious to
Yeah.
me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've done stuff like that. Like I've made
Okay.
lightning temporarily. Like I
Nice.
walked out, I was like, I got the lightning outfit. Just
Dude, it's a
walked
good
around and
haircut,
trolled
man.
people. Yeah, it's like
good
they have
haircut.
like all the Type 0 haircuts from the class, the students from that as well. Yeah, you could look like the thing they're doing now, Brad. They have a sword now for Dark Knight that looks like Cloud's Buster sword.
Excuse me?
And people are trying to make him look like it. And there's a serpent boss in a marsh, the enemy in a marsh area that people are trying to do. Like someone down Reddit did a photo, like look, I
Like
made
he's
it.
fighting the snake?
Yeah, from
oh
like, yeah. I
my
was
goodness.
like, oh no, this is so
Oh my
cool.
goodness.
That is lore breaking. That one I can't.
Yeah.
Okay, can't
Oh,
handle
the
that.
game, the lore breaking is all
Yeah,
over the place.
Kyle, I played chicken in Cloud's Advent Children motorcycle with the regalia on a train track.
So I have a question. I'm sorry. We've talked about 14 way too much, but if I'm on the RP server, can I take out the regalia, or is that a big no-no?
I have no idea.
Probably in like general areas, but if there's like an area that's like been designated like we're doing RP over here, they'll probably like send you a message like, hey, we're doing an event over here. Could you like not be over here for a bit?
All right.
They're usually respectful of like there's not a main quest over here, so like we're not like hogging an area where people need to be.
Got it. If I show up with my stupid gorilla, would they be like, come on, man?
If you're trying to if you're trying to ruin, if they were like told you, hey, we're doing this, could you not?
But what if, like, can you get kicked off the server?
No,
Like, what if I just went into the group and was just doing donuts on my motorcycle in front of them?
You will not get in like legit trouble, but you'll probably just get blacklisted by a bunch of players. They'll be like, oh, like this guy's not cool, like he didn't respect us stuff. So like we were trying to do something fun, and they were just kind of being a jerk about it. So.
You're just making this prospect more attractive to Kyle.
Hey, Kyle. So yeah, like there's a whole tavern, Kyle, where like you gotta like go in there in character, and if you don't, they're like, excuse me, you mean this, right? They'll like remind you. And,
Oh,
like,
that's funny. And they'll call you by the name that's presented.
Yep.
I had a long-held fantasy. So in the town I grew up in, they did Civil War reenactments. I always wanted to just come in as Neo and just dodge all the bullets. This is like a fantasy I've had forever. Just stand in the middle where they're just like, and just like,
We just need to make Kyle win a bet someday, and he gets to go back there and he goes, "Okay, Kyle, you won. Name one thing you want."
Yes.
It just cuts to him walking out like it's like a Civil War battlefield. Like, what the hell is this? And he just like puts on his leather jacket. He's
that
like,
is my Make-A-Wish for sure.
That's really good.
That's my Make-A-Wish.
We'll make this happen. I want to see this.
It is time for bets. Next week's bet. Oh, Mario Maker 2. Mario Maker 2 was released last Friday. but we're into it. I'm playing it, enjoying this. If you click on the tab for popular levels, we went to the course world. We're checking out the most popular levels. If you click on the most popular level, it has a certain amount of hearts. Currently, the number one most popular level has 114,848 hearts. That is how many people liked that level. That's crazy. To have 100,000 people play your level, pretty nifty. When we do this exact same thing this time next week, what will the most popular level have? How many hearts will it have, Brandon Jones?
160K. Going big.
Okay. Bradley Ellis.
165K.
Oh, no!
Michael Damiani.
200,000.
Man.
I think he's going to win. I went 178,002. Ian Hink.
Dang, I went 176K.
Nice.
Closest
Cool range.
bets.
Let me lock that in. Yeah, those were super close. Last week we had a bet on Super Mario Maker 2. I went to the 10 most recent reviews on OpenCritic. How many times would I see the word creativity? And by the way, OpenCritic has their own Patreon, I realized. Like when you go there, they're like, hey, all we need is like $447 a month to just function. Oh. And so like they have a little meter of how close they are. They're super close, but check them out. I just felt obligated because we use them so much. Okay, how many times would I see the word creativity? Ben bet 3, Blood bet 8, I bet 6, Ian bet 7. Jones, you got a guess? How many times I saw the word creativity?
9.
1.
Whoa.
Wow.
So Ben
1 in 10 reviews. If I'd used the word I messed up. Creative.
Oh, that's
I was gonna say, you're gonna get
You would have
screwed,
won. It
yeah.
would have been 9 or 8. It would have been a lot
Yeah.
for creative. Creativity, only 1. I messed up. So that's a Ben win. So that brings our scores to Scrappy Little Pigs, 14.
Ew-wee.
Gorgeous Gorillas, 12. Hey, everybody. We are on Patreon as well. We do cool things for people who like this podcast. Like if you want this podcast early, if you're $5 and up on Patreon, you get it on Wednesdays as opposed to Fridays, as well as many of our other shows, early access as well. So check that out. You can see what kind of shows we do, what kind of podcasts we do, what kind of live streams we do. Easy Allies. Patreon.com/Easy Allies. I do want to say also that there has been an extension to the Glenny's Cauldron Jam. We're adding one more week.
Oh.
Nice.
Get your games in by July 12th.
Delayed.
Sorry?
Delayed.
Yeah.
He's called a game delayed.
And if you like that podcast halftime thing,
Yeah.
those are sponsors of the podcast specifically. It is our second highest tier. The mega sponsor means you're a sponsor of this podcast and Frame Trap. We have a mega sponsor locked in for July, but we have a couple sponsor slots open.
Cool.
So if you would like to be a sponsor of Easy Allies for this podcast exclusively, that is our $500 level. You can do that for the month of August.
Nice.
So
Nice.
we like to,
July's locked in, but
it's
you
an
gotta be
it's an
sponsored,
8 slot cap, and we're looking for more sponsors.
Nice. And Jones will read what you send.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether I'm here or not, in person or in the booth.
In the booth in your living room? You said your office is in the living room.
In the booth the booth is still in the garage. A lot of work stuff has moved out of the garage.
Your in-laws moved into.
Right. Which I didn't get into. Yeah, that's I wasn't sure how our community was going to feel about that.
Was that a previous?
You did what with the garage?
Yeah. Well, hey, man, you gotta
We got to sleep
make
somewhere.
space. Yeah, exactly. That's funny, man. Okay. Who was in Brad's seat? No, Brad is in Ben's seat. Okay.
Oh.
So Brad,
Yeah.
you get the right and the responsibility to share your Twitter handle with the world. You get to promote any Easy Allies video you would like to promote. You get the final word on anything you've disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just popped into your head. And you get to sign off with your trademark sign-off. Take it away, Brad.
Oh, okay. You can follow me on Twitter at BradleyEllis87. I want to promote for video our most recent countdown, Top 10 Games Revisit. I talked about Tony Hawk, the Tony Hawk franchise. Real fun playing it. Play a little Darth Maul action there, Kyle.
Which one? Is that 3?
It's 3.
Nice.
It's real fun, man. So
Yeah.
give it a check it out. What were the other parts?
One more time, games, the official.
One more time.
Oh,
It's been a long week.
The official title.
it's been a long week.
It's been a long week.
I feel you, Brad.
Yeah.
Longer for Jones, I guess. Yeah.
It's not a contest.
Video games are cool. And trademark sign off. New one.
what I'm not a humongous fan of is Final Fantasy VII. What I am a huge fan of is marketing campaigns.
Sexy.